You're gonna need some pasta, elbow noodles. This is going to be 1 pound. If you don't want to make this much, you're just gonna half everything in this recipe. Give your elbow macaroni a mix. Let this cook 7 to 8 minutes until they're al dente, and then you're good to go. Give your pan or your pot a good spray of some cooking spray. Adding 1 large chopped bell pepper. 1 large, medium to large, chopped yellow onion. 2 large cloves of garlic. I shred mine. You could smash it if you like. Also keep in mind, if you're not a huge garlic fan like I am, you don't have to use 2 large cloves. You could use 1, adjust it to your liking. Mix your bell pepper, onions, and garlic. I like to saute these a bit, give them a head start before I add my ground beef in. These are al dente. I'm going to take them off, strain them. I'm not going to rinse them. You want them nice and tacky. And then I'm going to set them aside off of the burner so they don't overcook. Now that my peppers and my onion is a bit softened, I'm going to go ahead and add my pound of ground beef. Start to mix your ground beef in. I've turned my heat up. I'm going to go ahead and start adding my ingredients as far as my spices and stuff like that. I have 1 whole Knorr's beef bouillon, a bit of seasoned salt. You could use whatever seasoned salt you like. This one that actually came with my spice rack that I shared on a different video is really, really good. You could add whatever you like. This is American goulash. As far as spices, you want to kind of keep it in the spice range of what would go in American goulash. But I do add just a touch of smoked paprika. I just feel it gives it a nice touch of flavor. Not too much, just a bit, just enough for a hint of taste. 2 bay leaves, sea salt, black pepper. Instead of adding additional seasoning salt and sea salt, I'm going to go ahead and add just 1 more half of a cube of the beef bouillon. I like to leave my ground beef a bit chunky for this, but not too chunky. And then also when I'm mixing it, I leave my bay leaves whole, so just watch out for those. Just a bit more black pepper. Black pepper actually brings out a lot of taste in this, but you don't want to overdo it. So just a bit, just enough to taste all that good stuff that was rendered out of this ground beef. I'm not going to strain this. I'm going to add some tomato paste just to thicken it up a tiny bit. A heaping tablespoon of tomato paste. Mix the tomato paste in. And be careful with your bay leaves once again. Keep them whole so it's easy to pick them out when you're ready to. 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. 1 8-ounce can of no salt added tomato sauce. When you turn the heat back up, wait for it to bubble a bit, turn it back down, and then we're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes, 20-30 minutes. Let it simmer however long you like. The more it simmers, the better the flavor, as far as my opinion. Now that you see a light boil, mix it a bit more. Cover your pot, let it simmer for about 20-25 minutes. Quick and easy dipping bread, but it's going to taste great. You could use real butter if you like, but I'm using this Smart Balance Light. I'm just going to eyeball it. Maybe put a tablespoon right here. 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to probably just use half of it for this amount of butter. I have some chives. Just sprinkle some right on top. I should be using a bread knife, but I don't have one. So I'm just going to use what I have. Give it a slice down the middle, and that just worked out fine. These babies are ready for the toaster oven. We have our bread ready to go in the toaster oven, so let's put this all together. First, I'm going to start by getting these bay leaves out of the pot. Just going to set them on here real quick. And, oh wow, here's the other one. Taste test. Really, really good. I'm just going to add a bit more sea salt. A bit more pepper. I have half of my noodles that are cooked right here. They are nice and tacky. They will fall apart once you get your sauce on. I have half in here. So I'm going to gradually add some in if I feel I want them in there. It depends on how saucy you want it and how you actually like it. So adjust it to your liking. I'm going to add all of this in here. The noodles have cooled down. So turn your heat back up while you're adding your elbow noodles to a medium-high heat. Just adjust it to your liking. I feel honestly half of the noodles is good enough for me. I did cook the whole box because I wanted to add some as I go and just see how I want it. So just adjust it to your liking. Just make sure you have enough sauce and just keep it a bit saucy because you want to make sure you coat your noodles and you have a good taste in your goulash. When you're cooking your elbow noodles, make sure you cook them al dente. Do not overcook them because you're going to reheat them with your sauce. Now that this is at a medium-high heat and everything is warming up, I'm going to turn it back down to simmer. Add just a bit of sea salt now that I got the noodles in here. Some black pepper. We're going to mix this one last time. Now that I brought the heat back up, everything is warming up in the pan. I'm going to turn the heat off, let it cool down. You could use real butter if you like. I'm using Smart Balance, the light option. Just add a few dollops of butter on top. Now that we have everything done and in the pot, I've turned my heat completely off. We are done. Just cover this, give your butter time to melt, and your goulash is ready. Diced serrano peppers. After this sets overnight, it only gets better. Add a little touch of ketchup, jalapenos, Tabasco really goes good. This is my take on American goulash. Try it out. I promise you're going to love it. And I'll see you in my next video. Just a touch of more paprika because I like saying paprika.